Hello YouTube, Caleb from NatoCaloGaming here today with a Europa Universalis for Empire review. This is my first ever Europa Universalis Empire review, and as many subscribers would know, me and Nate do a lot of Victoria 2 Empire reviews. So I play E4 a lot. I just surpassed about 530 hours after I finished this save. So I decided that I would do an Empire review on this game and this save. So I played as Great Britain. I originally started as England. So England started off with everything below Scotland and just everything here. I started off with England, and my main goal wasn't necessarily to conquer the whole world. Whole world meaning everywhere but Europe, but to conquer a lot of Western Europe. And I suppose I achieved that goal to an extent. I'll get into more details with that later, but so I started off with England, who had Normandy core, and I think these two provinces down here, as well as Calais. And I decided that instead of just watching France take my territories back, I would actually fight back, and so that's what I did. I believe in the first war, I think these provinces off them, and just slowly over time I ate away their provinces, just getting Pitois, I don't know how to pronounce these, Pitau, Poitou, Limousin, Toulouse, and I just got all these provinces. Eventually I linked up my lands, and I just formed this kind of blockade, this sea blockade, and I don't think I think the only port France had was the southern port, but anyway, so eventually I just kept chewing away, and it ended out like this. And I believe back in the year 1532, I ended up with a personal union with France. And as you see, it says since 31st of January 1732. That is because they were in an independence war with my other personal union vassal, um, who I got in 1580, I believe, 1560. I don't know, somewhat about 30 years after I got my PE with France. Extremely lucky. So I enforced this personal union with France in a war. I got an event to do it, and that's how I enforced it. And I won a succession war against Hungary, who was, let's say they were very weak at the time. They're not existent anymore, but I easily won that war and got these two personal unions. So on this map, so that's why I guess you could say I completed my goal of um, conquering Western Europe. That's my main goal, of course. So yeah, as you can see on this vassal map, a lot of them are high liberty desire. That's because in my previous recording, I accidentally accepted these peasantry rebels who conquered all of South Africa. I accidentally accepted their demands, so that just lowered my stability. And as you can see right now, we're on France. France was like minus 25, no, just 25%. Sorry. As you can see, plus 38% for negative prestige. So yeah, that is not my fault. It was was my fault. It was just an accident. But yeah, as you can see, conquered all of Iberia. I did this about after I got my PEs with France and Austria. They both have a massive force limit. So I just kept Spain was eventually actually my ally for most of the game. And they got a PE with Aragon. They vassaled him and they annexed them. So that was just regular Spain, like always. And with my two PE vassals, I just chomped them down bit by bit, and I released a few nations on the way, and it was all good. Another major event, eventually by the end of the game, I think very late in the game, I ended up conquering all of Iberia. I still count all of Iberia as mine. So you can see the British Iberian name all across here. I found that very interesting. Also I got a few colonies here. This was from the Hungarian succession war. I decided to get a few. I think I was going to sell them to Austria. Not too sure why I didn't, but same with Munich. I got that against Bavaria. I just don't know why I didn't sell that. I also got a few. I think that's, what does it say? British Germany. British Germany. There you go. We got some British Germany over here. So yeah, I got a few. I started to carve out here. My main goal after I got Iberia was to push up here. Fortunately, don't have enough time. Providing I had more time, I would have done that. And my ultimate goal over there was also gaining a bit of Scandinavia, so maybe Norway, maybe a bit of Sweden even. I just wanted to reform kind of this Frankian Empire-ish thing. I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, unfortunately couldn't do that with the time. I would have done a lot more providing I had um, I had enough. I didn't actually finish all the technology, which is kind of surprising. That is because of my English Civil War. So a long time after I not colonized, conquered. Sorry about that. After I conquered Norway, I started getting a lot of rebels, and I forgot what the reason was, but I think there was some modifier that had to do with things. Oh, by the way, I also got many bits of Italy thanks to my vassals. Um, so I have a British India Italy name there. So I forgot there was some national unrest modifier, and I just completely forgot about it. And eventually, a lot of people just started revolting, and I crushed all these early revolts. But then there's these 100 stack pretender rebels, and it was just crazy. So that triggered the English Civil War. So as you can see here, um, my original dynasty was actually called Lancaster, which is a more English one. Um, and during this English Civil War, a lot of things happened. I changed into a Republican dictatorship, and even more rebels came, and I was absolutely screwed. France and Austria were ready to revolt. Eventually, I just decided to release a couple nations, like Provence and Brittany, and about 5 years later, I just gobbled them back up, so it was nice and easy. Um, So yeah, that was really tough. And then I decided at the end, these pretender rebels enforced their demands, and I became a monarchy again. And I was actually so thankful that I did, because yeah, my country was just so unstable. So that's leaves in some more of a Scandinavian last name. But yeah, so that's that. Anyway, let's have a look at the religion map, bro. So I stayed Catholic. Unlike, as well as Scandinavia, I don't know if they're meant to be a Protestant nation historically. I think they're Catholic in this game, so yeah. Um, so I stayed Catholic. The only province I did not convert was this one over here. Oh yeah, by the way, let's just have a quick look at our colonies. Um, very late game. I got this around 1780 as like a kind of British Indian base. Same with how I'm at war with Mysore and Maldives right now. Just as a little base. Probably would have got Peggy right here. But yeah. So yeah, got Brunei, southern Brunei coast. This bit of Siberia here. Very big. Not very big, sorry. Oh, whatever. I got Madagascar, South Africa. These are all colonizing. Sorry. Bit of Benin. I believe this is Benin, Cameroon. No, Cameroon's here. I also used to have Congo. Unfortunately, in my English Civil War, I had to give that up, and it was very disappointing. But um, tough times, tough times. As well as my tough times, I still haven't paid these loans back. So I did not. I have I have a good income right now. I started to get back on my feet just when the game ended, which is very unfortunate. But I also colonized Australia. I think I conceded most of the coast from Portugal, a war with Portugal. I got most of Australia, except for this annoying little province down here from the Ottomans who colonized it. But, all of Australia, very historical. Um, I also got Guyana. I made the colonial nation of Guyana. Conceded a lot of Dutch Guyana here. And they're pretty much just a massive Colombia. That's my vassal. I got a bit of Trinidad, which is the only province in the game that's American, which is pretty interesting. Puerto Rico, St. Thomas. I have also a Mexican colonial nation, New Wales. That was just a late. That wasn't really a late game. I'm not too sure. Here's my American colonial nation, Boston, with their capital in Massachusetts. I don't know. So yeah, Boston. It used to be called New Boston. I decided to just call it Boston as like a flavor thing. So yeah. I believe I was talking about something before. I completely forgot. English Civil War. Okay, so I decided to release a couple nations. I conquered them quickly back, and just after the English Civil War ended, France and Austria became extremely rebellious, and that's when the Independence War. It was a bit after the English Civil War, about 50 years after. But that's when the Independence War started. I think Scandinavia and Commonwealth were my allies at the time. For some reason they're not. I think I just dismissed their lines or something. But they helped me win it, and that helped me a lot. And I think I got Bourbon and Rouergue, off that. But yeah, I just wanted to clean the borders a bit. I also used to have this from that war with Hungary. As you can see, I have a core here, but Ottomans took that in a war against Commonwealth. Commonwealth pieced it out for it. So this is my map. This is my diplomat. So as you can see, I'm claiming here. I have a core here. Have these PUs here, personal unions with Austria, France, which is pretty good, not that bad. Oh, I forgot to mention this is an Ironman save, so it's not bad at all for an Ironman save, must say so myself. So Commonwealth Royal Marriage, Scandinavia Royal Marriage. I used to have an alliance with these guys. I declined the Cold War from the Commonwealth. These guys just pirated me, so I don't know, my people hate them. My only ally is Ming at the moment. That's a very late game alliance, but you know, I'm sure in this, Scandinavian power. That's pretty interesting. I'm sure in Victoria 2 we would make great friends. So yeah. Oh, also another thing, the Russian Revolution, as you can see, I don't know if you saw that before, but the Russian Revolution, this is my first ever revolution that's happened in an E4 game. So it was quite annoying, and it actually led to a lot of unrest. I don't know if you know, but there's a trigger modifier thing. Counter-revolution, here you go. So if you're a European independent nation, you don't have a truce or are not at war with the revolution target, you get +5 national unrest, +30% stability cost, and -5 yearly prestige, and that just like almost destroyed like my colonial nations just would not pay taxes, and it was just annoying as. But you know, kind of the best landing in the world playing as Great Britain, or shouldn't have, I don't know. So yeah, we eventually went to war with these guys. Unfortunately, we did not have enough. We didn't have enough war score to, you know. In fact, I didn't even notice that they're supporting the independence of Austria. We didn't have enough time to, you know, enough war score, not time, to enforce our dismantlement of the revolution. But you know, they caused a pain in the ass most of the game. They actually conquered all the way to Persia, which I'm pretty impressed with. And they didn't even do that when they were revolution. That was just Russia. Also, they vassalized Yarkand. These guys are protectorate. So let's just go on the diplomat of Russia. So that's their vassals. That's kind of like Soviet Union-ish kind of thing. The Commonwealth pushed them back quite a bit compared to like where the Commonwealth's meant to be. Outside of Moscow. So yeah. Anyway, is there anything else I need to say? Canada is independent. A lot of these nations just let their colonies go. Like Portugal colonized. I think Portugal colonized. Yeah, Portuguese. They colonized Mexico. Let their nation go. Same with California. They're independent, I think. Yeah, they're completely newly independent. I held on. I think it's a pretty good thing how I held on to my colonies until 1821. I don't know about you. Yeah, look at this Brazil, Dutch Brazil, Castilian, Dutch Peru. They're still. I think they're still colonies. No, yeah, they are. La Plata. You know, just it's all good how you keep your colonies all the way to the end of the game. So yeah, not the greatest historical British Empire, but you know, it's a British Empire, and it's definitely a British land empire conquering all of Iberia, and I'm safe to say all of France, minus like Savoy. Yeah, most of France. So yeah, I'm willing, and southern Germany, you know, that kind of area, Tyrol. I'm pretty impressed myself. NATO is pretty impressed, I guess. He has another empire he's gonna present soon. But other than that, I'm just gonna quickly check my. Yeah, as you can see, I told you before, I haven't really paid these loans back. Haven't had enough time to pay them back, really. I would have if we had a few more years, you know. So yeah, we're an empire. We're a constitutional monarchy. Forgot to say that. So that was after the war. We weren't an English monarchy. We're just a constitutional monarchy after the English Civil War. So Emperor William the Sixth Henry Leeson. That's our person. So improving alliance with Ming. Iroquois was my, what are they called? Protectorate. Yeah. Personal union with France, Austria. All these are my colonial nations. So Guyana, Boston, Australia, New Wales. Pretty good. Protectorate. Royal marriage with Commonwealth and Sweden. Embargo with Great Britain. So these are my rivals: Ottomans, Revolutionary Russia, and Bohemia. So Bohemia grew pretty big. They got a personal union with Milan, and they annexed them. So yeah, that was pretty good. Um, so yeah, there's nothing much else to show. So this is the world, as you can see, pretty good. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for more Empire reviews for E3, Big 4, sorry, not E3, because NATO has a Empire he would like to show. So yeah, anyway, as always, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed. Goodbye. Sorry guys, I almost forgot. This is the end screen. Just before I let you go, this is the end screen of my game. So, sorry, I just completely forgot about this. So as you can see, 0 stability, very stable. Not so stable, but not so weak. Minus 38 prestige, 21 ideas. Due to technology and English civil wars and Russian revolutions and independence wars, I wasn't able to get 7777 as easily as I hoped, but at least I finished 2 ideas, exploration and offensive. So obviously I didn't finish the tech tree, but um, technology cutbacks. You gotta prioritize. And I was coring all these 175 provinces, which was pretty good. Not the worst. I mean, this is Ironman, so 48% overextension. That's because I was just at war and I just conquered. 97 in religious unity. That's because of Holland and that province in India. Pretty big army. I used to have 270. I think an army, when I was at war with Revolution in Russia, my Indian army just got destroyed and I forgot about it. So yeah, not the worst army, pretty good army, pretty good navy. I got a 100 stack, I don't know if you saw, but I have an 100 stack somewhere around here. I think I can see it, I don't know, it's glitchy as. So we had a pretty good historical score, I must say. 15 just rounded up to 15k. Not the worst. Pretty good compared to all these historical scores. So 5th largest army, 4th largest navy, 2nd most provinces, 2nd highest province value, 2nd highest income, and the highest trade income. So yeah, there you go. So we have a long history of rulers. Don't know if I can actually show you how many rulers there are, but there's just a lot. As we can see here, I don't know if we can see the last name. Oh well, these guys were part of the Lancaster dynasty instead of the Leifson dynasty. Probably I don't know which ones are more. I think the Lancaster dynasty was the more prestigious. Anyway, at one point I even had the Lancasters on the throne of the Commonwealth at one point. But anyway, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and there will be more Empire reviews on the way. So yeah, have a good day. Goodbye.